course. I don't want no. It's not even like that. I mean, it was just a it was just a thing, alright? God is the origin of a self-righteous love. When you love God, you understand that He loves you. You hear what I'm saying? Because when you love God, He loves you, and that His love for you becomes who you are, becomes your identity, and you live out of that. That's why I say that He is the origin of a self-righteous love, a right love. He is the origin of a right love for yourself. No man can receive anything unless it comes from heaven. Even your identity, the very fiber of who you are that makes you who you are, the very essence of self-conscience comes from the fact that He loves you. And that's why it is so imperative for people to recognize the love of God, because the love of God is the very fiber of who they are. And it's God who gives you identity. It's God who makes you who you are. And the more you understand Him and His love for you, the more that you will understand who you are and what you can become. Your potential of who you are is in the fact that He loves you.
So how does that fit with the New Age teaching? Or like the Hindu teachings and the yoga? Or what was on my yoga tea?
So this is what the yoga tea says. The purpose of life is to know yourself and love yourself and trust yourself and be yourself. That's a less than half spoken truth right there. Because the loving of yourself, I mean, where does yourself come from? Where do you come from? If you love yourself, where do you come from? Because a lot of people love themselves, but the origin of each person, they might love themselves because they like doing things that are ungodly. That's where they get themselves from. So when you love yourself, you're loving your origin, which would be sin. You're loving sin. But it fits in because and I say it's a half-hearted truth because we're supposed to love ourselves. It's a instinct to love and take care of yourself. It's an instinct. But you need to know you need to know where you come from. And even knowing where you come from doesn't change anything if it's still sin. But if you love God and you come forth from God in your spirit, like you are born again by God, by the love of God, you come from God. And that's where you come from. It says, just like it said, now when you have that understanding about the love of God, stuff like this will actually make sense. It could actually even minister to you because it's directing you towards God. Because where do yourself, that it says on here, come from? The purpose of life is to know yourself. Where does yourself come from? God. And to love yourself. Where does yourself come from? God. And to trust yourself. Where does yourself come from? God. And to be yourself. Where does yourself come from? The love of God. Be yourself, the love of God. So it's all about having right knowledge. And the right knowledge comes from the Lord. So that's why I say this is a half-hearted truth. It has the framework of what a good, positive life should be, but it's lacking any real value and riches because the focus isn't on God. You should send this back and say, see John 3:16. Right? So we should probably keep that and actually do that.